Welcome back, everybody. Today, we are here on the Matt Show where I talk to the coolest creatives and people who make and build things in the world that I can find about how their mind is and their opinions on life and it's just a bunch of random stuff. And I'm here today with the lovely, wonderful, amazing human being, singer, songwriter, thought piece writer, musician of instruments, solo world traveler, Senite. Welcome.
We love that. I love that intro. That was great.
Are you ready?
I am ready. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Let's play.
You mentioned in a Lyrical Lemonade interview how when you were recording songs, you used your hand as like a makeshift pop filter.
Yeah.
Have you ever used your foot to make a song?
Good question. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That was a dumbass question. I thought was...
You have to sometimes. There is a time where you might be playing piano. You might be holding a mic. And both of your hands are occupied. And you are trying to record two things at once. And you need to press record. And you might need to extend your foot to push the letter R on Logic.
Really?
Yeah. I've done it before. I don't care. Yeah. And I wouldn't do it again. Because now I have people to help me.
That's actually really cool, though.
Yeah, you thought I was going to say no.
Yeah.
You wanted me to say no.
I didn't want you to say no.
No. You wanted me to say yeah. And I said yes.
That's actually so cool.
That is
Okay. In one of your latest singles, Older,
Yes.
you said, I think I'm getting older.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm starting to believe it.
Oh.
So, are you actually getting older? Or do you just think you're getting older?
Here's the difference about like thinking and knowing.
Okay.
Right? You know, sometimes enough thought can get you to a place of knowledge. And I think what happened there was I thought I was getting older, and I know that I am because I thought about it and I said it a lot of times. So yes.
You keep throwing these unexpected answers, but that are so like they work. They're
Very
so
intelligent, Matt.
I know. That's why I'm so excited for this interview.
This is going to be great.
Okay, so you had posted something about when you love yourself really deeply, you start to just like shine from within. You look better and people are more like attracted to you. And I would love to hear you elaborate on that because that's just a really interesting idea that like.
I mean, yeah. Did you read that on a Substack? I don't even remember.
That was a mix between like a story post you made on Instagram
nice.
and a Substack article. It was like, as you pour into yourself, then people are attracted to that. And whether it's your physical appearance or your charisma or just the way you come off to people, when you truly love yourself, suddenly people are like, they want some of that. You know what I mean?
I think I was just talking about this, but I was saying, honestly, when you are like pouring within yourself, like, you know, like beauty starts within, it radiates outwardly. And I feel like because of what radiates, people are just attracted to, like, for example, the sun, right? Like the sun is bright and warm.
That's a great example.
And when the sun comes out and brings warmth, people are more likely to go outside and experience the sun. And it's kind of like that, where like then when we hit wintertime and the sun is out and it's still cold, everyone stays inside versus when the sun is out and it's warm, the sun is kind of like doing its purpose of radiating and encouraging us to come outside and experience it. And I feel like that's the difference of what I learned now of like in the past, I wasn't pouring into myself as much and I didn't really prioritize how I felt versus like what people thought I should feel like. And I think because I stopped caring about accommodating what other people felt like I should be, and I just cared about making sure that I was fulfilled in myself, I just feel like more people have found themselves, you know, radiating towards me, I guess. Because I don't even want to say attracting toward me.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I think, like radiation.
Yeah.
Radiation is attractive in
all forms.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be like romantic or
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it's like moths to a light. Radiation.
Yeah.
It's attractive to moths.
You also said at one point that you used to be chopped, but I don't think you were ever chopped.
Matt, you didn't know me when I was chopped. I will say also, a lot of people got on me for saying that. When I say chopped, I think I look at it like I didn't believe that I was beautiful. And because I didn't believe it, I didn't feel that way. But I think that's the difference of what I feel like now. Is like I believe and know that I am because I have created myself to feel the most beautiful I've ever felt. Versus in the past, I didn't think I was beautiful, so therefore I thought I was chopped. Or I still stand by that. I had to grow into my body and my face and my forehead and my teeth. But
that's so cool though, no?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but chopped is subjective. I could be chopped and I could know and feel that I am. But to somebody else I might not be. It's all just whatever you decide for yourself to be.
Yeah.
So I decided that I am beautiful. Therefore, I am beautiful.
It really is all about how you think about yourself, right?
Yep.
Because I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Like in the times where people resonated with me more easily, it was because about how I thought about myself from within was more like connected.
It's about radiation. Whatever you decide for yourself and how it manifests to what you are presenting to the world is exactly what should be received. So if you're confident, people will be confident in you. Yeah. If you're not, then people won't be.
A lot of your projects are about rooms.
Yes.
Like the guest room, the living room, and then the hallway. But the hallway sounds like a horror movie. It's a little bit spooky.
I know. Even the cover art is kind of spooky.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What is it with Senite and rooms?
Okay. This is a thing. Okay. Before I started music, I had a concept in my mind of what will lead me to the project or the album or, compilation of artwork that was a full example of who I am deep down. And I wanted it to be like who I am when no one's watching, which to me is me in my room. But I wanted it to feel like you have to enter multiple stages before you get to my room. So like when you're a guest in my in my home, before you get to my room, you got to get your shoes off, get comfortable, whatever, and then you hang out in the living room. You start getting a little bit more comfortable. Your jacket's off. You're having some food, whatever, and then you're making your way to my room, which could be down the hallway, could be on your right, could be on your left. You might make it a couple stops at a couple other spaces in my home, which sounds like my house is really big, but yeah, the concept is you're in my home.
You can still have those rooms in a small space.
This is true. But yeah, so that's why. So hopefully the series will end soon. But for now, we are still in my house, which is essentially the portfolio of all of my music.
What's the final room?
Mine.
Oh.
Yes. My room is the final room.
You mentioned how when you were younger, you had a, quote, hyperfixation about peculiar things.
Quote.
And that you used to eat syrup bread. That you would walk around with syrup poured on bread and you just... You said you had syrup dripping down your face.
Oh my God. I did not think that this would resurface again. Yeah.
I had to deep dive.
Wow. Yes, I did eat syrup sandwiches.
Sounds good.
That was some trench baby food.
I might have to try it.
You should. Elevated though. Like I'm sure you could elevate it.
Like toss it on the pan a little bit.
But if you think about it, if you toss it on the pan, you add some eggs, you just have French toast. You see what I mean?
I didn't think about that.
That's all that was. You know what I mean? It was essentially French toast just without the eggs.
I didn't even think about that.
That's what that is basically was. But yes, I did used to eat syrup sandwiches. And they used to be saturated in syrup. And they were delicious at the time.
How much would someone have to pay you to take a bath in syrup, and then you can't take a shower for 24 hours, and you have to go about your day.
What? If it's a good enough concept, if it looks cool, and if I shot a music video, maybe people wouldn't even have to pay me. But in the contest of taking a bath in a syrup bath, that's crazy. So I wouldn't even put a price tag on it because I'm not even gonna manifest that.
Got it.
I'm not even gonna put that in the world.
Okay. We're gonna put that block. We're gonna put the ad block on syrup bath.
I don't want to do. Wait, I can't even. I'm not even gonna repeat it. No, just not. That's not happening. No way.
You were in Brazil.
I was in Brazil.
That's so cool. I want to go to Brazil really bad.
I love Brazil.
What did you do that was like some of your favorite things while you were over there?
I dyed my hair. I dyed it blonde. That was really cool.
That is cool.
That was really Brazilian. I met some really cool people and I made really cool music.
Oh, you made music while you were there too?
Mm-hmm. I strangely I have like a following in Brazil of people that like my music. So yeah, I made music with some folks out there. And then I went to Lollapalooza in Brazil, or in Sao Paulo, which was cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then I just explored and I stayed at a castle in the mountains in Rio. And it was really cool. And I just did that by myself and I met strangers. And I rode on the back of men's motorcycles to get from A to B. And I wore flip-flops every day.
Every day?
Every single day.
You posted you stayed in a hostel.
It was a castle hostel. It was a hostel that was a castle. But yes.
That looked very fun though. Was there like a little community that was there?
Yes. I like staying in hostels. They're fun. You meet people. If you don't know anyone, if you're traveling alone, you're going to meet people that also travel alone. So, yeah, I did stay at a hostel. It was called Castelos dos Tuscanos. Castelos dos Tuscanos. That was hard to say.
Do you want to learn Portuguese?
Yes, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be so cool though.
I don't know. I don't even know how to say it in Portuguese. It was hard. That's probably one of the harder languages I've ever had to learn. But I also am an immersive listener. So I was like, once I was there, I felt like I was practicing it. You were picking it up quickly. Yeah. Versus right when I left, I was like, whoop.
That makes sense with music. Like with the creative process, you throw yourself into it and you're getting all this feedback.
Yes.
And like you threw yourself into the country and you're hearing all this stuff. And it's like.
That's the only way I learn, honestly, if I am experiencing it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I want to learn more languages, and the only other language I speak a little bit conversationally besides English is Japanese.
Because did you live in Japan?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool.
But I've been losing. My Japanese teacher used to always tell us, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Whoa.
And she was so right because
she ate.
She did.
Yeah, she's right.
She's one of my favorite teacher of my whole life.
Wow. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Shout out Park Sensei. But she's right. It's like a muscle within itself. If you don't
work it out, it'll just get old and rusty.
Tell us more about the People's Music School.
The People's Music School.
Because you didn't like school per se, but you loved music and you appreciated how the People's Music School showed you music.
Mm-hmm. I hated school, so I was just bad in like anything academic because I just didn't like the concept of school. But music school was similar growing up. I actually had a love-hate relationship with music school because I just didn't like that I had to like go home and practice and then I had to come back and be better. Like it was just like, the homework part.
Yeah.
But I did like when once I became like, once I was like 11 or 12, I felt like more of my teachers were trusting that like I had a talent and they kind of just started to let me express myself on my own. So write my own music or create my own compositions and then perform the compositions or have other people perform my compositions and stuff. So I don't know. I loved music school. I felt like I learned everything I know about music in terms of like performance and music theory and compositions and arrangements through music school. Yeah, I loved it. It was amazing. It changed my life.
I heard that one time you got suspended because you like cheated on a test or something.
I did.
Really? But you don't seem like you were like the bad kid. But
I I was not. I was bad. I was a
Really?
bad. I was not. Yeah. To be honest, I think, I grew up with a lot of cousins and brothers.
And they were
and
mischievous.
Yeah, just bad little boys. And my sister and I, we were the only girls ever that were like in that age group. So it was just like always one of us that had the choice to go to the dark side and one of us that, had to follow the rules. And my twin sister, if you know, I have a twin, but my twin sister was really good in school and I was not. So if I wasn't good in school and she was doing homework, I just had all this free time because I didn't want to do homework and I was being a bad little kid. So yes, I cheated on a math test in 5th grade. And yeah, I don't regret it.
Yeah, that's so bogus though.
Suspended because I cheated.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you wanted me to complete the test. I was going to complete it one way or the other. I just did a little, yeah.
I could tell you mine, but tell me why you didn't like school. Like,
I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no idea why I didn't like school.
Really?
Like, I still don't like school. Like, I don't know. I think it's like being, like having no fluidity or like choice.
Yeah.
But to follow like something that I felt like wasn't manifesting to my everyday.
Right.
It was like, when am I going to do like
what I want?
Right. And I think for me, I'm not going to be like thinking about the world war. Mm-hmm. Well, I am going to be thinking about the world war, but like, I'm not going to be thinking about like social studies when I am in the middle of like trying to secure an interview or something like that. Or like, I'm not thinking about like, I don't know. This is hard because now that I'm saying it, I'm like, wow, I actually I do include this into my everyday life. I don't know. I just feel like I just struggled. I couldn't do homework. I didn't like tests. I didn't like quizzes. I didn't like the forced structure of those things.
Forced structure.
Yeah. Versus writing classes and like social studies classes, like anything that involved me being able to be creative.
Yourself,
if I was able to use my own
creativity,
then I would do really well. Like the only classes I did well in was like English. Yeah, really English and sometimes history classes. And then when I was in high school, like theology classes or like world religion classes and stuff.
When I was like a little kid, I used to throw temper tantrums every Sunday night because I saw my parents as like the overlords of the world, right? So like, why can't my mom like stop school from happening on Monday? And I would just go crazy. And I remember her reading this book when I was like 8 in 2nd grade about like how to call, like some therapeutic book on like how to fix your child. And I was like, I'm not the issue. I was like, school's the issue.
She was reading that book?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so serious.
I still remember that, yeah.
Wow, that's iconic. Why didn't you like school?
Because I just felt like I had no choice. School smacked me so bad with the like forced process.
Yeah.
That I remember associating the word learn with like something bad.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
And then I hit my teenage years and I'm like, wait, I love to learn.
Wow.
But school just like tried to smack learning into me.
Yeah. It was like the forced structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But stay in school, kids. Do what you want to do.
Yeah. No, we're not saying school's bad. We're just saying that school didn't. Well, maybe
wait, no. School's not bad. Go to school. I'm just saying, make sure you're going to school for something that you want to apply to your life. Like, it would suck if you like got a degree or like you studied something that you didn't end up manifesting into your everyday life. Yeah. That's where I don't know. I just think like time, not just time is money, but like time is everything. So I would hate if I was like sitting in a classroom learning about something I don't really care about. Like math was the biggest thing I struggled with.
Me too.
I hated math.
I almost failed algebra.
Oh my God, I hated algebra. I took pre-calculus like 4 times.
Really?
Like that was like my whole high school career was just like algebra and pre-calculus. But like I hated math. But it was like in some ways I understand how it manifests now, but there were some things where I'm like I don't think I'm ever going to use these skills.
My mom was like, you can't fail this. You got to go to early morning tutoring. I was like,
what?
No.
You went to early morning? I went to late night tutoring. they had after 9 p.m. tutoring.
Really? 9 p.m.?
After music school. It was like, nah, you going to tutoring. I'm like, what? But yeah. That's what happens.
In the Sad Boy interview, you said that you're a big planner and that you'll prepare a 4-course meal and a 3-adventure visit. And I was like, maybe on one adventure you can visit 3 places.
Ooh.
But in one visit, can you have 3 adventures?
Yes.
So I wanted to know more.
You know, I hate the zoo. You like
don't
the
like
zoo?
the zoo?
No.
When I was little, I liked it until I understood that animals were being like
caged,
held captive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't go to the zoo without like feeling like sick to my stomach.
That's
I
because
don't
you're
know.
a good person.
You know, I think I'm a good person too.
I think so too.
I will say, I don't know what state of mind I was in during that interview for me to say that. Cause like what? But I will say, you know,
some of these are dumbass questions.
No,
like...
but I will say, you know, when it comes to experiencing things, because like I said, you know, time is everything. If somebody were to come and visit me, I would want to make sure that they have a good time if I'm hosting them. So I would probably, you know, make sure they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then maybe in between every meal, we do something cool. So yes, I would probably help somebody have a good experience of a day.
You've talked about in romantic relationships, over investing in someone, hoping that they'll reciprocate, but they don't. And I can relate because I feel like if I'm going to give you all this energy and love and attention, like naturally you're going to give it back to me. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah. There is sometimes a level of heartbreak that comes with people pleasing, where when you feel like you want to treat people the way you want it to be treated, and then it turns into, you know, I'm going to treat people with the most above and beyond treatment so I can receive that. At the end of the day, it's about expectations. If you create expectations from someone because you want to receive an abundance of love that you're able to give them, it doesn't really mean that they can qualify to give you the same, which is something I've accepted, is like, if you create no expectations, you won't be disappointed. Like, and I think that's what comes with the heartbreak of people pleasing, is like, you're ultimately just going to be really miserable if you become a people pleaser, because you won't be reciprocated, because not everybody will love the way you do. But yeah, I feel like in a relationship context, in a friendship context, in any context, really, like if you're just always pouring too much and there's no reciprocity, ultimately that you're just losing more than you're gaining, and creating the expectation that you'll receive the same amount back is just unreasonable. Not in this economy. Love is expensive, honey.
But I was going to say, like, isn't there something beautiful about taking the like vulnerable step to pour yourself into someone, even if you don't know what's going to come out of it?
Yes. If you're secure enough in yourself to know that you might not receive it back, there is something beautiful with that. But if there's a level of insecurity where you're not the most secure and you're kind of like emptying your cup with hopes for it to be refilled, that's where it gets unhealthy. But I think for me right now, I have no issue, you know, giving love in a healthy context, without expecting for it to be returned. If I know that I have the ability to give it and I won't lose anything, versus like in the past, if it was the only love I had left in my cup, I was willing to empty it with the hope for it to be reciprocated. But I think, yeah, it's a matter of like self-security. There is something beautiful about that, about loving someone a lot, but there is something a little bit delusional about.
Yeah, that's true. There is, isn't it?
But sometimes being delusional is cool, and
sometimes it backfires on you.
Yeah, sometimes being delusional is weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Like there's levels
to it. It can be like
it.
super beautiful or flip and be very weird.
Exactly. You could also be beautiful and weird.
Yeah.
Porque no los dos. But yeah, to my point, I feel like you can love and not lose, but if you have a lot to lose, then maybe keep loving yourself until you get to a point where you're okay with loving someone a lot and it won't hurt you.
That actually adds right next to this question that I have from your article. Have you healed yet? You start off the article by saying you had to learn that you shouldn't get into a relationship when you still have work to do on yourself. And I think about this a lot. like even right now, like I've been putting off dating because I'm like, I have to get back in shape. I have to like, because my whole life Senite up until 2025, I was always in shape. I might have had like skinny arms, but like I had a 6-pack or like whatever.
Oh, wow.
And then suddenly I was in a really bad place, and all I did was eat ice cream and watch Brain Rot on YouTube and sleep. And I
Yeah.
didn't think it would catch up to me, but suddenly I got a little belly, and then like, but it's like if I'm not in shape, if my finances aren't together, if I don't do this or that thing, then I'm not ready for it. And I'm curious what your take is between like feeling like you have to make yourself a perfect person and potentially kicking the can of love down the road because you're not doing anything about it, or actually genuinely needing to like take a step back and do some inner work before you're like ready for it to be received.
Yeah. I mean, to me, first off, like, I hear you. I think we're like, this is like a weird stage of adulthood where you are more likely to see what happens when you don't take care of yourself. I feel like before, like, we were younger and our metabolisms were faster and it kind of just like whatever. But to what you're saying, I feel like for me, even the Substack article where I wrote about, but did you heal yet? I think with even the title, but did you heal yet? You know, like when we first start dating someone or talking to someone and there are like small little red flags of like things that it seems like they are still trying to navigate or overcome, there's a level of like responsibility that you have of yourself to be sure that whatever you're trying to navigate is not someone else's responsibility, which ultimately can sometimes be the downfall of relationships where somebody else's like unhealed trauma or unhealed love for themselves can just project to the partner, and it becomes the partner's responsibility. And then there's abandonment, there's like anxious attachment, avoidant attachment that comes with it that really shouldn't be your partner's responsibility. Like, I shouldn't be responsible for someone else's, unhealed trauma that I had nothing to do with. Which for me, myself, I feel like, growing up in multiple layers of a diverse childhood, I think I have experienced my own traumas in my own ways, but it wouldn't be fair for whoever is going to be in a relationship with me to have to navigate that. Like, I should be able to handle my own responsibilities of my past.
You said healing isn't optional when you want a healthy relationship. It is the relationship. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like Shakespeare, but he's looking at you writing? That's you Senite speared that quote.
No.
Like, really?
It's not optional. Healing is the relationship. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to feel like you are content with your partner, or that person wants to feel content with you, and they don't want to feel like they have a responsibility for something they had nothing to do with. So, yeah, healing is not optional. I don't think avoidance is the answer. I think accountability and responsibility is the first few steps to making sure you're healed in yourself and that you love yourself and that you're lovable.
I agree.
I'm glad you do.
To paraphrase, you said that like people will often generalize or assume that people are like this or that, or like you see on social media, men are like this, women are like this.
Yes.
And get stuck on the ideas about like how people are and confusing it for wisdom. They're like, I have this wisdom now that people are like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you said that there are billions of people in the world who are all individually and infinitely unique, And so there are actually, to quote you, endless ways to experience love, connection, and partnership. I thought that was really interesting.
Yes. Did you read that from my Substack?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I talk to friends about this all the time. When we are like limited by the few people that we know in a circle or routinely, should I let that pass?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, from that overhead stuff. But yeah, I think because we're kind of stuck in like the chambers of the people that we think are going to be the only people that we will know in our lifetime, there's a level of like exposure that we're missing out on where you don't know if there's one person on the other side of the world that is just like you, or a perfect friend to you, or a perfect partner to you. And I think for me, every single, however billions of people, probably like 8 billion now, not 7, I doubt it. But with the billions of people in this world, individual people, and however many billions there are as adults, each person thinks differently and operates differently, or maybe similarly to you. And I think there's like a level of like tunnel vision that sometimes we as humans develop by thinking, oh, these people are all this way because this is the only routine, experiences that I've had with a certain type of people. It's like, babe, you haven't even left the country. Like you ain't even seen what people are like and blah, blah, blah. But I think that's even why I explore the world so much is there are people that I haven't met and I would never meet if it's not for me having an open mind. But I think with like the whole, men are, women are, people are this way kind of mentality, or even like how people do it in content or Outlook or whatever, I feel like there is genuinely a level of like ignorance that people are practicing where it's like, you think from the, 20 people out of the 7 billion people, you think you're able to make a consecutive decision on how people are based off of the 20 people. 20 might be a lot to you, but it's nothing to 7 billion. There is also like education that people fall for, and then that make people all have a group think, and they just all as a group think the same. But it's like,
or as an individual, but then they want to get other people to think their way because they think they got the secret sauce.
That's the thing about influence, because at the end of the day, I might think that what I'm saying is cool and all, but somebody else in some other part of the world might be like, yo, she's too radical and progressive. And then I'll be like, yeah. They'd be like, don't follow her. Because at the end of the day, we're all influential by leadership. So if we decide that we are leaders and that we want to have influence with the opinions and thoughts that we have, because we have freedom of speech and we're allowed to share it, there is a level of like, but I could be wrong. And I won't know until I find out later. But that's the beauty of being human and thinking for myself.
Yeah. And then that also on the flip side, it's like you can also have influence when you feel like it's appropriate and it works.
Yeah. So people might have a group think similar to me.
Right.
And I might be leading something without me realizing.
Right.
And because I feel like people should be healed, there might be a world where people are like, no, people should not be healed before you get into a relationship, because as a relationship, you need to have the other person be a mirror of you and help you navigate your trauma and things that they had nothing to do with. Who knows? In somebody else's world, they might think that that's appropriate.
Right.
Personally, I personally believe you're better off having 2 healed partners to have a beautiful relationship than 2 unhealed ones.
And I get the sense that you're like mature and wise enough that you don't have this goal of like saving the world, but you also are open to like people sharing the humanity of like being connected by like a positive shared mentality or experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just like being positive and realistic.
Yeah.
I think I have a level of logic, but also emotion that I apply to the things that I think and believe. And I would love that if everyone could think and speak freely with logic and reality and honesty, and empathy or sympathy, whatever that looks like. But I would love that. I have no intentions to change the world because I'm just one person, but I'm hoping that, being positive and realistic about life and the things that I believe are impactful to these people, to people that are able to experience me and the things that I say and do.
Senite spirit or shake night.
Shake night? Shug night.
You said, quote, love shouldn't feel like a battlefield of past wounds. It should feel like peace you don't have to question.
Yo. Yeah.
That's so raw.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, love should not feel like a battlefield of past wounds. It should feel like the peace you don't have to question. I think it's exactly what I said. I feel like you don't have to, or love should be really easy. Love should be seamless and calm and peaceful and, like a light that radiates, that you just want to be around all the time and you just want to share. But I feel like with relationships, for some reason, we're kind of programmed to think that we need to overcome. Well, overcoming challenges is a part of love, but I think needing to have like somebody to win an argument all the time, or needing to have somebody that's right or somebody that's wrong, I think, or somebody has to be right at the end of the day. But I feel like love should be peaceful, and love should be kind, and love should be easy. And I think with love, sometimes people attach it to a lot of hard work before they think about how easy it could be to have peace.
You have a conceptual album you're working on, but it's not really done yet. And you said you don't know how much you could talk about it.
Correct.
So how conceptual is it?
The album I'm working on is so deeply conceptual that all I can say is asbestos snow.
Okay. If you could be any type of Eritrean food, what would you be?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my God, that's such a good question. I would be kitcha fit fit.
Let's go. Why?
It's a bread dish that you only need bread and water and flour. And it turns into like a denser pancake. That's not the best example, but
it with the bread and the...
No, I don't think you've had it. You
I
probably
know I
haven't.
haven't.
But basically, it's just water and flour. Easy. You can make this. Anyone can. Well, you have to do it right. But then you break up the bread into little pieces, and you toss it in a butter called asmi, which is like it's like ghee. So it's like a seasoned butter, and berbera, which is like our spice. And it's just like the easiest, quickest comfort food meal that can feel like it's elevated or hood-like, but it's very easy. And I would be kitcha fit fit. I would be bread. I love bread.
Kitcha fit fit.
Kitcha fit fit.
Kitcha fit fit.
Yes. Yummy. It's really good.
You wrote in another Substack article, when I say I want someone on my level, it's not about money or status. It's about, can you show up for yourself the way I show up for myself?
You doing pen, I'm doing darts.
No, seriously, it's like,
yeah.
It's like,
I love myself a lot. So it's like, what exactly can happen here where someone else can, add on to the love I already have for myself, where they also love themselves a lot, where it's almost like a mutual addition. Like we're already like fully baked cakes with frosting and icing. So now all we're doing is just some like sprinkles.
yeah.
Just elevating it a little bit, even though it's already well done and made. And yeah, I just feel like with a lot of like current dating, there's like some different types of expectations. I feel like money and status have been like so commonly thrown around these days about like you need to be this in this place to date me, or whatever that looks like. But I feel like at the end of the day, again, what radiates will attract. And if you don't radiate as much as I do, move around.
Shake Knight said another thing. The kind of energy I'm attracted to is not based on admiration or potential, but on execution.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Like, where do you come up with this stuff?
It's just natural, man. I'm just an infinite jar of thoughts.
You said you thought you were attracted to ambition, but were really attracted to follow through. I was like,
yeah. To be honest, yeah, I did think I was attracted to ambition. I thought when people would tell me the dreams that they have and they, I think there's nothing wrong with like being a visionary or having the goal. But I think what's more attractive is once you get there and when you start doing the things that will get you to the goals that you've created for yourself. I think who wouldn't want to be attracted to something like that, where you say you have a dream and a goal and you're doing every step it takes to get there. I think that's cooler than just talking about stuff.
Yeah, I agree. You had another article where, what is it about positivity that pisses people off? And this really resonated with me. You said, the more I radiate how good I feel, the worse people's attitude can become around me.
Yeah.
And you said it often carries the quiet energy of, what is she so happy about?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because genuinely, as I'm like going back like several hours in the day today, I'm like reflecting on me reading your articles and coming up with these questions. And a lot of this stuff that you wrote about has come out of me from like really deep, like meditative practices or like sadhana, which can be like translated to spiritual exercise.
Wow.
Where these moments where I'm really strongly radiating within, and at the same time, it attracts a lot of positive energy, but at the same time, it attracts a lot of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't prepare myself for that. And so I got really hurt and broken and distraught by like, why do people hate me for just being myself?
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to deal with that. And that was a whole other process that I had to like try to figure out.
Because people hate themselves.
And that's another thing. Like, that same stuff I learned from that, I also learned that like hurt people hurt.
1,000%.
And I only learned that through when I was the most hurt, not by watching another hurt person do it. Because when I was the most hurt, I was the most nasty. And I realized I was just like, I wanted relief.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm sure there's a joy that comes from, you know, feeling like you are, I guess, like, quote, giving people a taste of their own medicine. I think there's a level of like, you know, steps that healing, you know, requires where you do become a hurt person and you might hurt other people. But I think once you get to a level of healing, because that's just a part of the process, I think like when you start to radiate positivity and acceptance in yourself, there's a level of, you know, insecurity that also becomes like, that also attracts with positivity. I think positivity. Why did I enunciate my T like that? But yeah, I just feel like even for myself, it took a lot for me to be in this like level of pure, just like acceptance and peace with myself and my life. And I think because of that, people are still navigating what peace looks like for themselves.
You said joy can look strange to those who are still fighting their way out of darkness.
Joy can look strange
really
to people that are fighting their way out of darkness in real life. I think the best, like even imagery wise, like if they are, you know, deep in a dark well and then they just look up through this really, really narrow little lens and they see people celebrating, they're just like, how can I get up there? And I'm so mad because I'm down here. And I feel like that applies in life in so many different aspects. And I think there's a level of comparison that people maybe subconsciously fall into and kind of like a what about me, or how come that's not like the way I think or act or whatever, or I don't like that person is not where I'm at. But honestly, I think that comes with the process, and ultimately it's like, are you doing the things to execute your way out of that level of darkness where joy seems so painful to see, but joy is so lovely to experience.
Yeah.
Joy, honey. Joy.
Joy. You can make a song called Joy.
You can make a song called Joy.
I will then.
You do it.
Okay. Yeah.
You do it.
Something in a Sad Boy interview you talked about is that one of the most freeing things you've done emotionally for yourself is freeing yourself from the overwhelming, self-consuming anxiety of what do other people think about me.
Mm-hmm.
How has your relationship with what other people think about you changed over time? Because even to this day, like I'm like, did I do something?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say something?
Mm-hmm.
How is this person? Like I still struggle with this. So I'm curious what you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I navigate it ebbs and flows. Sometimes I have a deep level of acceptance about the way that people think of me, and how it could affect my life or what the things that I do. And then there are other times where I might actually care. But I think, honestly, and I'm going to say something really serious.
Okay.
You could die tomorrow.
Right. Right.
And if you had a recording of the last thoughts before you died, would you really want it to be,
What did
that person think of me? Versus, I did really well today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I appreciated being alive today.
Exactly. Yeah. Because if today was your last day and you spent today worried about someone else, were you really doing something that was fulfilling for yourself on your last day? And only you would know that. I think that's the other thing, is caring about what other people think is just being worried about things that you can't control. And it's just like, at that point, what? Like, how are you going to worry about like a boat in the middle of the ocean making its way to land when you have nothing to do with the boat getting to land?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have no way to control something or someone that doesn't even have the same brain, mind, body, heart that you do. I think the only thing that you can control is what happens within yourself. And if you can control what happens within yourself, you should control when you're not thinking about other people and just think about yourself. Yeah.
It's like on our deathbed, do we really want to like be consumed with these things that may have started and ended all in our own head? And never, like, you know what I mean? You
would think, you would want, like, the last things that you think of is positive self-talk. I think that's the other thing about what radiation looks like, or how you radiate positivity, is like, because I just tell myself, good job. Like, I just did that. I'm doing great. I'm very proud of myself. Or I'm going to do one more thing that's going to make myself even happier than I was a minute ago. Versus, I'm going to think about things that are going to just make me miserable. Why would I do that? But people, honestly, may live that life, and that might bring them their joy and peace. But at the end of the day, one thing I know about myself is if I just keep thinking about how great I am and how much greater I can be, one thing I know for sure is if tomorrow wasn't promised for me, then I'll be very happy with the way I live today.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to God or the source of creation or whatever you want to for that, you know?
Yeah.
But, because I've seen people with my family or friends or acquaintances, like, they'll not that it's their fault, but they'll validate their negativity, you know? They'll be like, they'll be like, oh, it hurts them, but they feel so convicted in their of that it's right that they'll stick to it. They're invested in being.
Yeah.
You know?
To be honest, that's a part of the process. I mean, to be honest, like, for me to think and act and have the beliefs that I have right now, it took a lot of, negativity and darkness in order for me to get to this place of positivity and light. I mean, to be honest, like, I had to, get a rant out or crash out or something.
I had to be the ugly victim who just splashed out negativity for me to see that it wasn't,
Maybe it had to just fully release in order for you to just, like, bring in new energy. And I think that's okay. I mean, everyone's in their own experience and journey. And sometimes if people feel like they need to just be a nuisance to themselves and people, and that might just be a part of their journey, as long as, like,
maybe there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I feel like that's the other thing. It's like, what even is right or wrong?
Right.
You don't even know. We will never know.
Yeah, that's so true.
So as long as you're doing what feels good for yourself, it doesn't really matter. I think, engaging in, people and things that are consumed by negativity and judgment and gossip and just darkness will ultimately just put you in the place that they're at. But that shouldn't be a goal of yours, to put yourself at the bottom of a well.
Yeah.
You should want to be in the sky.
Fly.
Just gotta fly.
No, because no one really wants to be in the bottom of the hole.
What?
Sometimes they just find themselves there and they're like, get me out of here.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what's sad, but comes with the territory. You gotta decide what you want to do with your time in your life. And if you decide you want to make your way up to the sky and fly, go ahead and fly.
Yeah.
Wake up in the sky.
In getting older, you said, if you understood my love for you, I don't want to fight with you. We talked about this a little bit, but like, I'm like, why do so many people I think a lot of people get caught up in fighting and they think it's like a necessity for like a relationship. Like, oh, fighting is just a natural part of the relationship.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nah.
yeah, like not necessarily, you know.
I mean, for me personally, the more I've spent time alone and have enjoyed my time alone, I love the peace of not having to be responsible for somebody being upset. And yeah, I don't really like fighting. I don't want to fight. I don't like fighting, period. And I think that's because I just live in just this pure piece of life that I think for me, if people just are more understanding, there actually shouldn't even be a part of any dynamic that requires a fight or an argument if people are just more understanding. But the reason why people fight is because people are not understanding each other, and then it escalates. So it's like, maybe you just need to understand more and you won't be in fights,
Yeah.
you know?
I watched my parents fight a lot, and a lot of the times I just thought it was the most ridiculous, obnoxious thing ever. Because for me to watch it from like the third person, I'm like, you guys are fighting over the dumbest, most random, like all of this built up tension that probably built up over the course of 400 interactions is now coming out the volcano of like the most inconsequential, like, why did you turn this way? And now it's like all going, and I'm like, bruh.
Yeah. I mean, the issue is there is just a lack of understanding. If you understand a person or their actions, or if you're able to separate a person from their actions, or if you're able to understand the principle or the goal that people have when they do something, there actually genuinely would not even be an opportunity for a fight because there's a level of understanding. You know, you understand how a person prefers to be communicated to. You understand if a person meant to do something intentionally or not, or accidentally or not. But that's also just a matter of healing in yourself. If you have enough security in knowing that you understand things outside of your control, there actually wouldn't even be an opportunity for a fight.
Yeah. I guess my fear is in the moments I know where I've been very broken, that I see that I'm broken, and I don't want that to spill out onto other people. So I'll isolate, or I'll put myself away.
That's
But then,
real.
like at that point, like I'm not functional enough to be with somebody, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
But that also should be, if you have the accountability to know that you have some cracks or some brokenness in yourself where, you know, you have the work to do, at least you did the steps to isolate. But it's like, what are you doing when you're in isolation? Are you pouring into yourself or healing those wounds a little bit, or sealing those cracks where they can be something new? Or are you just kind of soaking in the holes and cracks of your life?
Because for a moment, it felt like soaking in the holes was like, I felt validated by that.
Yeah.
Like, let me just SpongeBob my way through
Right.
these, like, the negativity. And then I feel like, no, I should feel this way because of this, and this reason. And then I'm like, wait, all the negative people that I've seen who've soaked themselves in their negativity, that I felt so like taken aback by, I'm becoming that person.
Right.
I was like, damn, you know?
You can't be SpongeBob in this life. You can't. You might not even be able to be Patrick. You might just have to literally be somebody else, a plant that grows. Because, like, ultimately, though, I will say, I think a lot of adults or young adults or any adult in life have tendencies to kind of bask in the comfort of their issues, which manifests in how they treat people.
Yeah.
And when you treat somebody poorly because you have sulked in your issues and your trauma, it's not really fair to the other person, because I also think there's a level of like, if I were being treated this way, would this be fair for somebody to treat me a certain way because of their darkness and trauma that they're navigating on their own? That was
What
crazy.
was that?
It's just like the walls agreeing. They was like, yeah, SpongeBob.
No, I think sometimes we should be SpongeBob and Patrick, because they're like, hey, like, I think
you could be.
sometimes we just need to be carefree.
You can be carefree, but cognizantly
Yeah.
carefully. You got to be a little bit aware.
We can't just be like, and then like run into the wall and then like,
and then like find yourself in like the bikiniest of bikini bottom and
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said, 'cause if you saw me, you'd believe me. Look into my eyes, you could see my heart now. I think, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the whole thing.
Yes.
It's like about being seen.
Mm-hmm.
What changes with love once someone is truly seen?
To be honest, the context of even me writing that was in the past when I like was in a relationship with someone, they felt like they knew me from when they knew me in that relationship, which was like, at that point, it was like 7 years prior to the writing of that song. And it's like, gang, it's been 7 years. I changed a lot. If you saw me, you'd believe me, but you haven't seen me. So you've decided on, who you thought I was.
They've attached themselves to their assumption of you.
Correct. There's like no level of openness if you create an assumption for who you think somebody is without seeing them or speaking to them. And yeah, I feel like that manifests in relationships where if people treated other people based off of assumptions and narratives that they've created by not getting to know a person or giving a person a chance or having a discussion with them or making an effort to see them for who they are, people are just ultimately going to be miserable and nothing will feel genuine. And people will just be in very dark places if they continue to act on narratives and assumptions without confronting who they feel like they've created in their mind.
Not to be like overly philosophical, but I think that's like, that goes for humanity in general. Like there's humans all over the world going off of assumptions or what they think about other people, but they've never given themselves a chance to experience that person for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that happens with me a lot. I think people, outside of the positivity people pisses people off thing, right? I think there is a level of love in myself where it kind of builds ignorance to negativity. But I don't realize that there is a world where people may feel like they know who I am based off of assumptions they've made because of what I look like or how I present myself. And I think it wouldn't even be fair for me to treat somebody based off of a way that I assume they are because of how they look or present themselves. So how is it fair for somebody to treat me that way? But like I said, you can't control it. So there's a level of like, you can't really control the way people think of you. But if people had a bit more of open minds and were more comfortable with being confrontational or open, I think the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, people don't give people chances as much anymore. And
I'm like, you got to always at least experience it for yourself.
Yeah, people don't want to.
I have one story that always comes to mind, which was when I was at Northside in high school. Everyone wanted, but the most food at lunchtime was the spicy chicken sandwich. And
Fair.
My friend came up to me and she was like, "Oh, the lunch workers, they ran out of spicy chicken sandwiches. There's no more. I was like, "Let me see for myself."
I'm dead.
And then I went back and they had spicy chicken sandwiches.
You got to see for
It's
yourself.
like if I just went off of what she said, I would have never got the spicy chicken sandwich, you know?
This is true.
You said, "I'm drowning in the loudness of your anger. Don't mind me. I'm paying." I was like, whoa, what does that mean?
Honestly, the song "If You Saw Me" is probably the most raw of writing. Not even in like the context of like I'm raw, but like that whole song from the beginning to the end.
You are raw though.
I appreciate that, Matt. But yeah, that whole song, "If You Saw Me," from the beginning to the end, is like literally how I experienced those feelings, and I just put them from pen to paper. But yeah, I think I experienced a lot of people's, assumptions and narratives that they've created of me that ultimately made them upset with me because of a narrative or assumption they've created of me. But I have to pay for, like trying to represent myself or prove myself. And you lose a lot by trying to like prove yourself to somebody that's already decided on a narrative or assumption they've created of you. And that specific quote, "Don't mind me, I'm paying," could be in any context, like, where, if I was physically, literally paying for something or someone, and somebody was upset with me, it's like, gang, I'm paying for something for us. Like, I'm literally doing the work to make sure that you're fulfilled, whether it's nourished in a food context or whatever that looks like. But yeah, I think for me, it was like, I have to pay for the damages that are done based off of what people have assumed or created of me based off narratives that they've created in their head. Because, there's like a lack of openness that people practice where there's like no open mind. Like if people had more open minds, they could just be like, hey, I experienced somebody that might look like you or act like you or speak like you, and I have subconsciously attached that type of person to who you are. Do you think that you're this way? And I think that would change a lot of things of how people feel. But I don't think that people are open enough to practice openness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so to wrap this up, except for, I'll give you a second to say anything that I didn't ask or like plug anything. I don't know why this was one of the very first questions I wrote. Mm-hmm. It says, if you could be a potato for a day, what would you do?
Oh, what would I do if I was a potato? I hope I would be a sweet potato. I would just bake all day. Oh my God. If I was a sweet potato, I would just be baking. Oh my God. I'd probably bake for like 3 hours on like 400. I would just bake. Oh my God. If I was a sweet potato.
Would you make yourself sweet potato French fries?
No.
Just bake?
Yes. And I would just let the syrup just like ooze.
I might have to try. I might have to go home and cook a sweet potato
just
syrup.
Bake it. Just bake it. You don't even gotta bake a sweet potato. You don't even gotta make a sweet potato syrup. You might just have to bake it for like 3 hours.
Damn, that's a long
Super
time.
bake.
That's a long time.
Maybe not 3 hours, but yeah, I'd be a sweet potato and I'd bake for a long time.
Have you ever tried sweet potato with syrup?
No.
I might have to try that.
You do that.
Or with
and
honey.
You let me know how it goes. Oh, honey's probably
Not
good.
bake it with the honey, but put the honey on afterwards.
Yeah. That's probably good.
Thank you so much, Senite, for coming on the Matt Show. This was wonderful.
Sorry for the clap.
No, you're good.
Thank
this
you
is so cool. And if I haven't asked you anything that you want to talk about, or if you want to plug anything, the floor is yours.
I'm in a joyful rebirth right now, and I am just loving myself. And I think I've never felt better in my life, and I feel like the Senite that I feel like I am right now is the newest Senite I've ever experienced. And I hope that people can feel that with me. And I think I didn't drop music for a while. So now I'm like back and enjoying music, and music has been fulfilling me all over again. And it feels so good. And I just love music. And I had a difficult relationship with it because of my many things that I had gone through. But I'm just excited for what there is to come. And yeah, live life like it's your last day. Be happy. Love music. Love each other. And have open minds and let it manifest to the beauty of your dreams.
Yay! And I'm excited for you because you're such a talented musician, and other really talented musicians love you.
Wow.
And think you're awesome and important to you. And so that can't go anywhere but somewhere cool,
I hope so.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm cruising right now. I think I just have a level of acceptance of life where it's just like, man, I can't control everybody and what they think of me. But one thing I can control is how happy I can be. And I love it. I love it here.
Thank you, Senite, for coming on the Matt Show. This was a wonderful experience.
Thanks,
Goodbye,
Matt.
everybody.
Look at your perspective camera. Oh, be like, stay weird.
Stay weird.
Stay weird.